Should teachers and administrators be allowed to carry guns in Pennsylvania schools? A state lawmaker wants to make it possible. And that's tonight's top story. Good evening. I'm Ron Martin.
I'm Janelle Stelson. The bill is not even written yet, but as 8 on Your Side government reporter Matt Belanger reports, it is already getting reaction.
I'm very passionate about the Second Amendment.
He hasn't even worked his first full week in Harrisburg, but Republican State Representative and former teacher Greg Lucas says his push to allow school officials to carry guns in schools stems partly from a personal loss. Lucas spoke to News 8 on the phone from his Erie County office.
We had an incident in my hometown where a good friend of mine was shot by a student at a school dance. If it wasn't for another friend of mine who happened to own the building where the dance was taking place, going and getting his personal gun to stop the shooting rampage, there probably would have been more casualties.
In the wake of mass shootings nationally, and as federal lawmakers gear up for a fight over new gun restrictions, Lucas says his proposal to loosen gun rules would only allow licensed and trained school workers to carry concealed weapons in schools. And school districts would be expected to set rules about how the guns are protected and transported.
It wouldn't be like you'd have, 100 teachers running around with Uzis strapped to their side. You know what I'm saying?
Another state lawmaker plans to introduce a bill to allow school districts to hire retired police officers and others with law enforcement training to patrol schools.
Bringing guns into schools makes zero sense to me at all.
Pennsylvania State Education Association President Michael Crossy says the proposals miss the mark.
Not only does it make them more dangerous, but it distracts us from the real arguments. It distracts us from the real arguments. How do we keep guns out of the hands of those who shouldn't have guns? And there are people who shouldn't have guns.
If you get a better idea, I'm all for it. I think a good idea is armed police officers. But the bottom line is, then the PSC will be crying, we're supposed to be using that money for teachers, not for security.
Crossy says it does come down to money, saying at a time of budget cuts, schools need more funding to pay for anti-bullying and mental health programs.
You want to show me your priorities, show me your budget.
State lawmakers return to Harrisburg later this month. At the state capitol, I'm Matt Belanger, News 8.
Pennsylvania joins 9 other states across the country where lawmakers are considering allowing school workers to carry firearms in schools. In Minnesota, adults who have a state permit can carry guns into schools with written permission from a school authority.